The phrase "you only live once" is extremely relevant. So don't ever settle for less, no matter if it's the kind of car you want to drive, where you want to live, or a career that you want to pursue. Life is mostly about taking risk, so take risk. I'm not talking about the risk that we take every day when we wake up, when we eat, when we drive. I'm talking about the kind of risk that you didn't think you'd be able to accomplish, but since you did do it and accomplish it, you have a whole different perspective on life. Because I don't know about you, but when I take risk and I actually accomplish them, it feels really good. I take risks all the time, for the most part, 24/7, and I take risks just to get here, you know? So I'm not saying be stupid with your decisions, but I am saying think before you, of course, go with that risk, and make sure at least, you know, if it fails, it's not the end of the world. Anyway, and of course, don't give up on your dreams. Make sure that you are at least following your plan and your steps to get to where you want to be. Because what's the point of life if you're just kind of floating around and being mediocre and just kind of staying in the middle? You might as well go for what you want in the meantime. So of course today I'm going to give you guys an example, at least from my life, my risk and my experiences so far, and to show you guys what I mean by go for what you want to do and stay on that track, because it could probably work out in the future. Pretty much on all my social media platforms I go by Doss. Doss is my last name, and throughout my whole entire life, 2 long decades, I have been a car guy, a vehicle person. I have loved cars and vehicles my whole entire life, throughout elementary school, middle school, high school. I've always loved cars. As a baby, as a kid, I've always had Matchbox cars, Hot Wheel cars, and then I moved up to the big 1/18 scale model cars, and then RC cars and stuff like that. In high school, I watched tons of videos on my phone, laptop, and stuff like that about vehicles, because that's always been my thing. That's always been what I love to watch and what I love to do as far as just regular everyday life. But of course, coming around to graduation time and things like that, I wasn't really sure exactly what I wanted to do, but I know I wanted to be involved with vehicles as far as a career. So of course, as I was graduating, I was wondering, well, what can I do in the meantime, since I still haven't made up my mind yet? What can I do in the meantime that I already do and I like doing? Make money off of that until in the meantime I can make up my mind and decide what path I want to go, as far as, you know, being an engineer or working at a factory that makes the vehicles, or whatever it is. You know, what can I do in the meantime? So at this point, I'm thinking about working at a dealership. At this point, I've already talked to a lot of older friends. I got friends in their 30s and 40s say they worked at a dealership and their experience was pretty good. And I thought about, well, I already detail and wash cars in my own personal driveway. I do my friends' cars. My neighbors sometimes want me to wash their cars and stuff like that. And I already do that, you know, for a side job and stuff like that, and during school. So it's like, well, maybe I'll try that, because at this point I didn't even know dealerships actually offered car washes and details. I thought dealerships were strictly for selling cars and service, and that's about it. But of course, I did my research and I found out they actually do detail and do a lot more than just service and selling cars. So I went ahead and applied for that, and that's basically around the time when I got hired at the Ford dealership. And at this point, pretty much after I got hired at that Ford dealership, it was a pretty cool experience at first. You guys know, of course, on my last video, I told you how it was falling off because we were so understaffed. But you know, when I first got hired, everything was pretty smooth for the most part, and I was actually kind of liking it, because, you know, throughout my whole entire high school years and stuff like that, I was just watching videos about cars and just watching all kinds of videos and stuff like that. And now that I work at the dealership, I can finally get my hands on most of them and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool. I was kind of on that track to where I was going as far as, you know, being a part of vehicles for a career or whatever I wanted to do. So I was at the Ford dealership for about a good year and 3 months. When they dropped me, I wasn't ready to leave just yet, because, you know, I had plans for it to at least to hold me for about another 5 or 6 months. I wasn't quite ready to leave, but, you know, after they dropped me, I was kind of like, well, I enjoyed the new car dealership experience and stuff like that. It was really fun driving all kinds of new fancy cars and things like that, and even the used cars. So you guys know I was filling out multiple millions of applications and stuff like that at dealerships, mostly new car dealerships. Eventually, I blessed myself with a dealership that's 500 million billion times better, because you guys can see how easy it is for me to present vehicles in front of the camera with ease here. So now I'm back on track. I used to just make like TikToks and small little 10-second Snapchat videos at the Ford dealership, but after I bought this camera and I started getting more and more into actually presenting vehicles in front of the camera, that's what this dealership comes in place, because it's a lot easier to do it there. Because at that Ford dealership, it was so ridiculously stuck up, and they were strict about all kinds of stuff, and it was just, I probably wouldn't be able to do anywhere close to what I'm doing here with this camera and at this dealership. And that's why I have to thank a lot of people and also myself for actually putting myself in a better position to where I can actually do what I like to do with more and also work and have fun at the same time. It's incredible. But that's just a little brief example of what I want to talk to you guys about in the video. Go for what you want to do. You know, don't ever settle for less. I know it's easier said than done, of course, but it can happen if you just keep your head in the game, if you keep your mind on that topic. You know, if you want to do music, you know, stay with that. You know, if you want to draw or whatever, stay with that. You want to be an architect, you know, stay with that. You want to be a constructor, something like that, stick with that. Just keep your mind on that, and you know, your resume and your experience is definitely going to pay off in the long run, because life is full of surprises and there's no telling what's going to happen tomorrow, you know. I'm always getting off track at the end of these videos. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Nice little short video, whatever it is. It's gonna work. We getting there. We getting there. I see them views right there. I see them little views. Thank you guys for watching. That's it.